at the center. At the center there is love. I believe in the power of justice. I believe in the power of happiness. I believe in the web of life. I believe in love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Good morning. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we are learning new music almost every Sunday for the gathering music. So I'm inviting you guys to even stay seating, but sing with us. We have the lyrics. Oh, we're supposed to have the lyrics? I think we had the lyrics, right? Okay. It's a very long song, so I'm pretty sure you're going to have a lot of trouble learning it. Okay, let's sing this together. First, we sing that I believe in the power of giving. And I believe in the power of change and in the power of differences. Let's sing this together. Ready, and I believe in the power of giving. I believe in the power of change. I believe in the power of difference. I believe in love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. And in the second verse, as you see in the lyrics, we believe in the power of justice, in the power of fairness, and in the web of life. So let's sing this together. Ready, go. I believe in the power of justice. I believe in the power of fairness. I believe in the web of life. I believe in love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Good job, y'all. That's beautiful. Now let's stand up. And now officially, good morning. Let's sing together, Filled with Loving Kindness, which is number 1031 in our teal hymnal. May I be filled with loving kindness. I don't know if you guys know the origin of this text, but this is not something super fast and exciting. No, it is something a little more introspective. It is for us to think and meditate a little bit. So I want to sing with you guys one more time, only the voices, no instruments, a little slower, and we're going to sing, May I Be Filled. Slower, okay? May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. I want to sing one more time, a little quieter now. And I want you to feel a little freer to improvise, to use your voice, to make different noises, to sing different notes, to be creative with your own melody. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole.
Welcome to the Second Unitarian Church. I am Michael Tevye, a member of the Board of Trustees. My pronouns are he and him. Today we are in person at the Admiral at the Lake, the 2U Sanctuary, and continuing to meet virtually every week using Zoom. We're glad you're here, whichever way you're attending. If you're in the sanctuary and would benefit from noise-canceling headphones, we have one pair of adult and one pair for children. Please see our tech team in back. As we navigate varying needs for health and wellness, particularly related to COVID, we welcome you to wear a mask. We have masks available at the table as you enter the building. We especially welcome newcomers and visitors this morning. Finding a new community and making new connections can be challenging. Please know that we're excited to have you and look forward to getting to know you. If you would like, there are blue mugs available during coffee hour, so you can use that to signal to others that you would like them to come up and say hello. If you're not sure what to say, the Drum Allies group has come up with a question each week to help spark conversation. You can find the question posted on the coffee hour table. For the month of March, we're exploring having coffee hours split between the loft and the Palmer room. This allows for less noise and more space for all who choose to stay after service, especially our children. Additionally, we always need people in the kitchen after coffee hour, and that's a great place to see old friends and make new ones while lending a helping hand. We want to remind everyone that the sounds of children are always welcome during our service. Our worship today is led by Reverend Jason Lydon, along with Dan Watson as worship associate. Music is provided by Andrew Abuchium, Gabe Barbieri, and 2U Music Ministry volunteers. Our time together requires a large group of people who make possible the worship, religious education, music, and technical production. During our pledge season, we get to hear from members of our congregation about why they make their annual pledge. And this morning we have words from Scott Luke, if you want to come up.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Scott Luke. My pronouns are he and him. I've been thinking a lot lately about our service from a few weeks ago about trust. And it reminded me of a conversation I had with a friend, several years ago. We were talking about all the political action and social justice work that needed to be done at the time. There was Me Too advocacy and LGBTQ advocacy and protecting the vote and pushing back against white Christian nationalism and all of those kinds of things. And we were talking about how all of this work is absolutely necessary and vital, but I was getting lost a little bit in the volume of the work. Go to this protest, call your elected officials, join this organizing group, it's just, how do we do it all? And what my friend said next has stuck with me, and I think it is at the center of why I give to 2U. She said, I contribute to the things that I care most about, and I trust that other people are contributing to the things they care most about. And if we all do that, then if we all trust each other to do that, then we got everything covered. And I think the same is true here at 2U. We have so many important ministries and programs and things going on here. There's religious education and our social justice ministry and our music ministry and the pastoral care that we provide each other and the committees that we can serve on to make sure the church keeps running. And I give to support the things that I cannot contribute to directly myself. I can't do everything, and I know you can't either. My favorite band, Fish, has a lyric that's, the net's unbreakable, so don't worry about falling. But I think the net only remains unbreakable if we tend to it. And how we tend to it is, you trust me to give to support the things about 2U that you care most about, and in return, I trust you to give to support the things at 2U that I care most about. And I think that's how we maintain our unbreakable net. And that's why I give. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. One quick announcement before we greet our neighbors. Today is the last day to tell the interim minister search committee what you're looking for in an interim minister. Please fill out the survey emailed earlier this month or use the poster boards in the Palmer Room and the loft to give your input today. So now, as we greet our neighbors this morning, let's do so by sharing one act of service that we did this week. This is the time to take a moment and greet your neighbor.
Come, yet again come. morning. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, a community of children, youth, and adults, a people of many beliefs and traditions, bound not by the specific list of things we believe, but the values we share, where we keep love at the center. Whether you are joining us for the first time or for the 1,000th time, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God some of the time, all of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. Whatever your race, whomever you love, whichever way you move in the world, however much money is in your pocket, you are welcome here. I invite you, when you feel ready, to take a breath in and out. And now, please rise in body or spirit and join in singing Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the songs of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the air, giving life to shape of justice. Fruits Holy Ghost, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Please remain risen and join me in reciting our covenant. Words should be in your order of service and on the screen. We covenant to build a community that challenges us to grow and empowers us to honor the truth within ourselves. We will be generous with our gifts and honest in our communication, holding faithful to a love that embraces both diversity and conflict. Called by our living tradition, we will nurture spirituality within a vision of the eternal, living out our inner convictions through struggles for justice and acts of compassion.
You be seated. Dan and I are very different heights. In just a moment, Marion here in the sanctuary. Yes, there you are. And Harris at the Admiral will light our chalices, the symbol of our faith. And we light our chalices this morning with these words from Unitarian Universalist theologian Rebecca Parker's book, Blessing the World. I am a person who has something to give. I am a person who has received abundantly from life. I am a person whose presence matters in the world. And I am a person whose life has meaning because I am connected to and care about many things larger than myself. And so as this flame burns this morning, know that you are this person.
Can I have all kids sit either on that step down below? Nolan and Sienna, I'm talking to the two of you so that I can have a tiny bit of room.
You guys need to sit down here.
Yeah, can you go next to Zella, please? Okay. All right, my friends, it's great to see you all. Can I have somebody share one kind act that a person could do? And there will be time in a few minutes to share a few more. One kind act that a person could do. Era.
So it's good to eat food because it's very good for us because our body needs food.
Yeah, eat fruit or food. Yeah, that's good for us. That's kind to ourselves, absolutely. What about an example of a kind thing you could do for someone else? Zella.
You can smile at someone.
Good smile at someone. I love that. That's a great example. So we'll have time to share a few more in a bit, but for now we're going to go with that. If you smile at someone. Now, if I'm walking down the street and I smile at you, Maddie, what's your response? Does that make you feel happy, sad, happy? Yeah, you probably appreciate being smiled at. But guess what? When you're the person doing the kind thing, doing the smiling, initiating the kind act, some really cool things happen in your own brain. Raise your hand if you like science lessons. Love it. We're going to have a little science lesson here. So there are messengers in our brain called neurotransmitters. And when you do something kind, those messengers, they tell each other certain things. So we can affect what our brain does and what our brain says when we make choices about how we act. So when we act kind towards someone, for example, I go up to Maddie and I smile at her, something called dopamine in our brain, so a certain type of messenger, that gets boosted, increased. Yeah, you can go ahead and say it, dopamine. Yes, and so that makes us feel happy as the person doing the kind act. Another thing, we're not gonna pass these around, we're just gonna look. Another type of messenger in our brain that gets boosted or increased, it communicates even better, is called serotonin. And serotonin makes us feel calm, makes us feel serene and calm, just like this lake right here. So you can say it after me, serotonin. Serotonin. Another type of messenger in our brain that gets boosted and communicates even better when we act kind is called oxytocin. My turn, oxytocin. Your turn.
Oxytocin.
And that makes us feel, go ahead.
Makes you want to be friends with the person.
Yeah, it makes you want to be friends with the person. It makes you feel loving and connected. So we have a heart to represent, nope, I'm doing it. We have a heart to represent oxytocin. And when we act kind towards someone, one type of messenger decreases. We decrease something called cortisol. My turn, cortisol. Your turn.
Cortisol.
And that is a stress messenger. That's a stress neurotransmitter. So when we act kind, it takes away this tornado. It makes us feel less stressed. So some really cool things happen in our brain. We increase our happiness, our calmness, our love and connection, and we decrease our stress when we act kind. So that means that when we act kind, it's not only the person receiving the kindness that benefits and gets something good, it's ourselves too. So now I'd love for you to take a moment to think about something kind that you did recently and think about how it made you feel. Something kind that you did recently and how it made you feel. Raise your hand when you're ready to share. We'll hear from a couple people this time.
Wait, what are we saying?
Something kind you did recently and how it made you feel. Marion, go ahead.
My question, it technically wasn't very recent, but last year on our spring break trip, we were at, I think it was Disneyland, and if someone had like a first time pin, even though it was my first time pin, even though it was my first time at Disneyland, I just either or a birthday pin, I said happy birthday or first time. It weirded out over half people though, but it made me feel good.
So you said happy first time at Disneyland or happy birthday if they were wearing a special pin, and you said it might have weirded out some people, but you know what? I bet even if it weirded them out, it made them feel good. And how did it make you feel?
It made me feel good.
Absolutely, maybe more happy, more loving, more calm. That's fantastic, great example. Love to hear one more example. Leo, go ahead. Something else in here. Okay, that's okay. Malachi, go for it.
Yesterday actually, never mind.
Okay. Okay, Era, go ahead.
Mama said you'll text. So the other thing, when I turned 4 years old, it was my birthday first, and then all of my friends come, and then I kind of like said, and then all of my friends said, "Happy birthday, Ava!"
Awesome. Your friend said happy birthday to you, and so that was kind of them, and I made it that it made them feel good, and it also made you feel good. Now I want everyone to think of one kind thing that you could do later today. And it can be small. I love that example of smiling at someone. So small, so easy. We can always do that. One kind thing that you can do later today. I'd love to hear from maybe someone we haven't heard from yet, if someone else wants to share. A kind thing you could do later today. Hazel, go ahead. Maybe share your happiness with your mom. Is that what I'm hearing? Love that. That's great. Sharing your happiness with someone. We'll go with that. That is a kind thing for sure. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me for the Time for All Ages. Let's sing the children to their classes.
Sing it twice.
So each year, as you're hearing quite a bit about lately, we all make a pledge, a commitment to support the ministry of this, our church, to keep everything that happens here going. In addition to this pledge that we make each year, we take a collection on Sunday morning so that we can share with those who are doing justice work well beyond our walls. For those of us gathered here in the sanctuary in a moment, a plate will come around into which you can put your change, your cash, or checks. And there will also be a phone number on the screen that you can use to do text to give. And for the month of March, we are sharing with Trans Up Front, an advocacy and education organization here in Illinois, building up the power of transgender communities and allies in the struggle for justice. And we've heard a bit about them already this month. And now we have a social justice minute from Alicia Obando.
Good morning, everybody. This is your Social Justice Minute. First of all, I want to thank anybody who helped and participated in yesterday's Immigrant Justice Volunteer and Resource Fair that we had here at the church. It was a big success, especially Brenna and Chloe, and I know Brenna just took her child downstairs, but the three of us were on the planning committee, and they were amazing. There was also a lot of people helping to set up and take down, so thank you to all of you, and you might have caught a snippet of it on WGN last night at 9 o'clock. At the event, I had brought in a Colombian immigrant that I know to serve us lunch, so he made homemade calzones. We have some left over that I will be selling on his behalf during coffee hour. Tomorrow night is our jail support activity. I believe they still need another 1 or 2 volunteers, so let me know if you would like to join in on jail support. And a week from Monday, we're having our monthly social justice meeting, which we do on Zoom. And I want to invite anybody who's interested in social justice to join us. Reverend Jason will be joining us, and we'll be announcing the new chair, which, surprise, surprise, is me. And then remind you that this month's donations in our donation bin in the back, we collect donations for the D19 Donation Center. And this month we're collecting socks for all ages. So please bring some new socks for children or adults and throw them in the Amazon bin in the Palmer Room. And a reminder that we are coming together as social justice warriors. Anybody here who has volunteered on one of our social justice projects in 2026, please see me to get your social justice warrior t-shirt. Thank you so much.
Now I invite you to join me in reading our offertory words. This church is the community of ourselves. Its energy and resources are our energy and resources. Its wealth is what we share. As we contribute to the life of this community, we affirm it and enable its participation in the larger world around us. The offering will now be generously given and gratefully received.
Oh
We've already been doing much prayer through song this morning. And I invite you to continue to join me in the spirit of prayer or meditation. Let us start by breathing together. Rest your body gently in your chair. Notice your back against your seat. Feel your feet upon the floor. Roots extending from you, interconnecting with all that exists. And continue to breathe. Allow gratitude to wash over you as we feel thankful for the breath in our lungs, the beauty of our earth, and the strength of this, our beloved community. We hold in our hearts those who care for family and ill health, those who live with grief or chronic pain, those struggling with addiction or illness, seen and unseen. We are with you. For parents and teachers, and all those whose primary spiritual practice is caring for children, we are with you. We pray for our neighbors in prison, for those who are struggling to stay afloat in the midst of poverty. As ICE continues their vicious raids and attacks around our country, we hold our immigrant and migrant family close to our hearts as they flee and seek a home that is safe. We pray for all those living in harm's way, particularly those navigating gun violence. We pray for our planet and commit to work that will lead us away from the harms of climate chaos. As war, genocide rage, we pray that wisdom, compassion, and empathy guide the leaders of our world. May they and we be instruments of a just and lasting peace. Our lives are truly blessed by those who are encountering the final stages of life. We offer prayers of comfort and care, knowing this journey is far from easy. This morning, I think particularly of Larry Lefferts as he begins to end his final days. Into this, our shared silence across space, I invite you now to speak aloud the names of anyone you wish to lift up into the loving support of our community. With our deepest compassion, let us hold in our hearts those named and unnamed, those remembered and those forgotten. Let it be so. Amen and blessed be. During our ritual of lighting candles for joys and concerns, we want to continue to take care of ourselves and one another. Here in the sanctuary, you will be invited to come forward and light a candle, and when you end your time of contemplation and candle lighting, I invite you to use the hand sanitizer that's available. For those of us at the Admiral, I invite you to pick up one stone from one bowl, hold it in your hand, knowing your joys, sorrows to be shared by this community. Let it go lightly into the other bowl. And for those of us on Zoom, I invite you to join in by sharing your joys and concerns in our chat window. We hold all of these, our shared joys, celebrations, concerns, and sorrows close to our hearts. Dan, would you share our reading, please?
Our reading this morning is a poem entitled Small Kindnesses by Danusha Lamaris. I've been thinking about the way when you walk down a crowded aisle, people pull in their legs to let you by, or how strangers still say bless you when someone sneezes, a leftover from the bubonic plague. Don't die, we are saying. And sometimes when you spill lemons from your grocery bag, someone else will help you pick them up. Mostly, we don't want to harm each other. We want to be handed our cup of coffee hot and to say thank you to the person handing it, to smile at them and for them to smile back, for the waitress to call us honey when she sets down the bowl of clam chowder, and for the driver in the red pickup to let us pass. We have so little of each other now, so far from tribe and fire, only these brief moments of exchange. What if they are the true dwelling of the holy, these fleeting temples we make together when we say, here, have my seat. You go first. I like your hat.
Thank you, beloveds. That was beautiful. That song makes me think of Amanda Thomas. She sang that song for us during my installation when we were still on lockdown, and she created this beautiful purple backdrop and had her beautiful self recording and figuring out how to make something so gorgeous when we were all kind of stuck at home, struggling. For those who don't know Amanda Thomas, she was our director of music who has since passed away, and her memory shapes still so many of us, being someone who transformed Unitarian Universalism, particularly for BIPOC communities and musicians. I also want to acknowledge that last night we were here to celebrate. We were here to celebrate the conclusion of our capital campaign, the work that you all did, the work that workers whose names we will never know did so many days, really thousands of hours, making it so that our building is physically accessible for people to come in, so that people can get to every floor of our building in ways that they never have before, and so that our congregational space is so beautiful. And we celebrated because even in times that are hard, and actually especially when times are hard, we have to celebrate. And so thank you to those who are here, and even those who weren't. I hope you can feel the celebration that is in our rafters as we gather here this morning. I'm sure you're guessing by now that we're talking about the ways that we give this morning. And I imagine that most of us, maybe even all of us, have heard the phrase, help others to help yourself. Brittany gave us a very good scientific argument for why that's a good idea. I will also offer a spiritual argument for why that's also a good idea. And I'm curious, though, what comes to your mind when maybe it's your therapist or your sponsor who says to you that you need to help others to help yourself. Or maybe you read this in a self-help book, or your best friend recommended it to you. Did you immediately think, oh yes, I have not been helping others sufficiently, and that is a good idea? Or did you find yourself thinking, don't tell me that. That's all I do all the time is help other people. Somebody should help me. I think we can all have found ourselves at different times in both of those camps. So we keep talking about this, but I'll mention it again, and Scott shared this as well, that we are in our pledge season, and we've been hearing so beautifully about why people give financially to our church. Making a pledge supports our ministry. That's certainly an act of helping others. But what is it that's so helpful about our church? What is it that you resource that makes it so that you can help others and that facilitates others helping others, that becomes this web of helping others? So this service, though, is about something very different than a financial pledge. The concept of selfless service is one of those values that crosses nearly every tradition out there. I could share words with you from ancient texts of all kinds that celebrate the religious act of selfless service. Since Ramadan ends this week, I thought we would start with a surah from the Quran. And give food the Quran says, to the poor, the orphan, the captive, saying to them, "We feed you only for the sake of Allah, seeking neither reward nor thanks from you." How many of us have ever gone to a food kitchen to be sure someone who needed food simply had food in their belly? Maybe you volunteered here in our kitchen to make sure that LGBT folks in Chicago who are experiencing homelessness, young folks, can have access to food. In my early 20s in Boston, I used to get up at 4:30 in the morning, or I was still up from dancing, and would find myself at the Catholic Worker breakfast for homeless men in the city. It was terribly early in the morning, but most shelters in Boston kick people out of the shelter at 5 a.m. And the men there needed somewhere to go. Other breakfast guests who were coming in, they had been hiding somewhere out in the cold, not in a shelter, and as soon as we could get them somewhere warm, the better. I learned a lot there in that kitchen. I learned how to make pots of oatmeal for 150 hungry guys. I didn't always do it very well. I learned how to de-escalate tension between drunk and hungover guys who had conflict that for some of them had been lasting years, that I also didn't always do well, but tried. I learned that there is a limit to my ability to be compassionate at 5 a.m., and it was also a time of knowing what it meant to be of service. There were those mornings when I did not want to bike to that kitchen. There were many mornings where I did choose sleeping instead of showing up. But when I did show up, when I took the time to attend to my responsibility to serve others, it was always the right choice, and I never regretted it. There's a story that Alicia Obando loves to tell that I used to hear at summer camp all the time. In this story, there is a curious person walking down a beautiful beach as the tide is going out. In the distance, the person sees someone throwing things into the water. The curious person continues their beach walk, and eventually they reach that thrower. And the curious person notices that this thrower is, in fact, picking up starfish and throwing them back into the water. Looking around them, the curious person notices there are many starfish out there. And it seems as though the starfish will inevitably bake in the sun. The curious person turns to the thrower and says, "Why? Why are you throwing these starfish into the water? You could not possibly make a difference." The thrower simply smiles, reaches back down, picks up a starfish, throws it into the water, turns to the curious person and says, "Made a difference to that one." Now, some of you may be understanding oceanography better than I do and think to yourself, that's not actually helpful. But for the purpose of the story, this is illuminating of making a difference. So hold on to that when your scientific brain is thinking to yourself, that's not how this is. Lessons come in many forms. Selfless service is about learning what we can from the thrower. Where can we find ourselves making a difference? Sometimes the difference we make can feel huge. Maybe we helped pass legislation. Maybe we effectively negotiated a contract for union workers. Maybe we discovered a new way to intervene scientifically in a rare disease. Other times, though, we might notice the difference we make is as simple as scooping the spider crawling on the floor in our home up into a glass and letting it go outside, rather than my instinct of smushing it. The differences that we make in this world through our lives is constant. Selfless service is an invitation to make that difference mindfully. As the Quran teaches, it is about acting without expectation of reward. Simply doing what is good in service of others, that's just good. We heard the choir sing words of the prayer of St. Francis. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is despair, let me bring hope, for it is in giving that we receive. What does that look like for you today? What about in your family? What about when you go to work? What about when you go and early vote? Where do you sow love, bring hope, and give deep from within you? I can get stuck in my brain when I consider whether or not something I do is, in fact, selfless. Am I doing this good thing because I want someone to see, notice, or tell me, you're a good person, because it feels good when they do? Do I want to be of service because it feeds my ego? As a Unitarian Universalist, I know that there is no hell for me to fear, so I don't do acts of service because I am afraid of what God will do to me. But what will others think of me if I'm not embodying selfless service? I'm sure you've heard of overthinking before. I was listening to a podcast from a Buddhist nun I like a lot as I was preparing for this sermon, and she was highlighting one of the Buddha's teachings that says authentic giving adorns and beautifies the mind. Adorns and beautifies the mind. I take great pleasure in imagining my mind adorned and beautiful. That's not always the way I think about my mind. Rather than spend so much time questioning my motives for giving, what if I allowed a sense of peace to fill me? Or maybe you might want to practice that. What if I invited myself to relax into the peace we are all entitled to and free myself from some of that self-doubt, breathing in peace? If I'm filled with that sense of peace, maybe the selflessness of my giving would become clearer, more honest, and embodied. Maybe it would become love. We say that we are keeping love at the center of our faith, the hub of our shared covenant. What if our service to others brought more love out into the world? Might we be able to bend down, pick up a starfish filled with peace, and let it go, breathing out love? When Gabe and I were talking about the music for this morning's service, we thought it might be grounding to add a song to the sermon. Years ago, I was affiliated as a community minister with the UU Church in Jamaica Plain neighborhood of Boston. Each Sunday, we sang the meditation on breathing before the weekly prayer time. We have also sung the same song here at 2U, so for some of you, it will be familiar. And the lyrics are very simple. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. I'll pass it to our friends to teach you how this goes.
Still sitting, let's sing this together. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out loud.
Thank you, friends. Last week, I was in the mayor's office with a number of other faith leaders for a meeting to talk about the needs of our city. It was great to be with clergy from many traditions and from across all parts of the city. I had a moment of surprise, though, when a staff person from the mayor's office talked about the ways that the city government is participating in mutual aid efforts across Chicago. To be honest, I have had a bit of a chuckle the last 6 years as the term mutual aid has become popular. And now you might be wondering, why? Why are you chuckling about that? Well, I chuckle because the concept of mutual aid began in the late 19th century with the visionary ideas of Peter Kropotkin, a Russian anarchist. Mutual aid societies were created to be horizontally structured communities that rejected the pseudoscience of social Darwinism. And those practicing mutual aid believed that every single person, no matter who they were, could contribute to the common good. Not only could everyone contribute, everyone had need as well. Survival was not based on any kind of competition, Kropotkin believed. It was based on mutual aid, mutual relationships. I bring this up because I found myself curious about the difference between selfless service and mutual aid. I've been enormously grateful for the mutual aid groups that have popped up and are still around since the COVID lockdown began. I also wonder, though, are these groups service providers to those in need, or are they simultaneously benefiting from the wisdom and labor of those who are receiving the aid? Is it charity or solidarity? I ask the question because when I am trying to ground myself in my own thinking, I want to just remember the why of it all. My understanding of Unitarian Universalism teaches me that what affects you affects me. What affects me affects you. It teaches me that the interconnected web of existence means that service keeps the web of life going. The net. Unitarian Universalism calls me to give with humility because so many others have already given to me, whether I realize it or not. I also know that Unitarian Universalism cautions against us giving until it hurts. We say that we cannot pour water from an empty glass. One of the functions of church on Sundays, I hope, is to ensure that you get your cup filled up again, ready for some dispersing for the week to come. In Unitarian Universalism, we do not believe in martyrdom. Tragically, there will be more martyrs in the world, but in Unitarian Universalism, we do not believe there is redemption in suffering. So what I mean by that is that we don't believe that suffering is sacred in and of itself. If you are giving and it hurts to do so, boundaries are needed. Restrictions are needed. You deserve to say, I can't do it. No. The blessing of a life that you serve is enormous. I have said before that in the Torah we hear that each life is a universe. That is certainly true for each person you serve. And that is certainly true about you as well. Remember that your self is part of the interconnectedness of existence. Your suffering doesn't reduce suffering, it just shifts where that suffering lies. We all deserve freedom from suffering. And so selfless service is about relationship. Not just about showing up for someone else, but about knowing someone else. Even as you walk down and smile at someone on the street, that knowing might be an inner knowing. That inner knowing of our theology, that we're all connected. And so as you go into this week ahead, I encourage you to remember your breathing. Breathe in peace. Breathe out love. I encourage you to be gentle with the questions you might have with yourself. Maybe allow some of that overthinking to be quiet, while simultaneously being curious about that which underlies your gifts to others. Observe the ways you give your time, your money, your love, your patience. Observe and ponder. How am I going to give today? Let it be so, and amen. I want to invite you to rise in body and or spirit and follow Gabe and the choir in our closing hymn, Love is at the Center.
I believe in the power of giving. I believe in the power of change. I believe in the power of goodness. I believe in love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. I believe in the power of justice. I believe in the power of fairness. I believe in the web of life. I believe in love. the center one more time. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love.
Close of our service, Dan will extinguish our chalice, even as we keep the light of our faith bright and alive within us. I invite you to rest your hands upon your heart or clasp hands with those you're sharing your life with, and hear these adapted words from the St. Francis prayer. May I be an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. Infinite love, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. Go in peace, beloveds.